Here we are in round 2. We're going to be on the play again. And this one's a little bit sketchy. We don't have any creatures. We do have some disruption in the Ruinous Path, and I think I'm going to keep it. It's like pretty sketchy, but like, I don't know, could be good. And the first creature we draw is very good. Like, we've got the Swell of Growth in our hand. So in that way, it's like kind of like a mulligan, but I think we have like enough interaction to survive. Unless we're up against a very, very aggressive deck, I think this hand is fine. All right, Hedron Blade. All right. Well, thus far we've managed to draw all our lands, so we may be able to get the Mire's Malice and the Ruinous Path for the Awaken costs. All right, Evolving Wilds, that's really good for us, so no pressure at the moment. And we're going to fire off the Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, we'll just fire it off now. I think we want our second Forest more than we want Mortuary Mire, since we don't have, obviously any targets for the Mortuary Mire yet. I wanted to fire it off there just because, like, we had the mana available. Opponent's also not making any big plays yet, so. All right, so we've got a 5/5 or sorry, a 4/4 coming down next turn. I kind of like holding on to the Malice. We can nab two sort of lesser, we can nab two lesser cards right now, or wait 2 turns and nab 2 cards and get a 3/3 into play. I could also like Swell of Growth my opponent's creature here. Just go for something. All right. Well, that's actually pretty threatening. Right. So whenever it's pretty good. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and play the Baloth on our turn, and we may have to Ruinous Path this at some point, but for right now, I think we're okay. Looks like our opponent ended up with the Allies deck. All right. A natural aggression is also very good for us right now. But we'll go ahead and put our Baloth into play. If our opponent spends their turn equipping and like playing a smaller creature, then we have like aggression plus Swell of Growth next turn, and we can just hit our opponent for a ton of damage. If our opponent doesn't have a big play here, though, I'd really like to Mire's Malice their hand away. Ooh, Cinderglade. It's pretty sweet. I have like no idea how the new lands rate either. We'll take this 4 here for sure, because we have at least a 6/6 next turn. And I'm gonna go ahead and fire off the Malice, like I said. We're gonna awaken our swamp. And probably not Ruinous Path our opponent's creature next turn. Probably what we want to do instead is use the Unnatural Aggression and the Swell of Growth next turn somehow, and then the following turn cast Ruinous Path. But we're pretty far ahead in the race, and we've got a decent board state, so I'm not overly concerned about our opponent making a few 1/1s. They have a big play here, yeah. So they don't even have the mana to pay for the 1/1s, so that's good for us. Though they're gonna get their guys. Yeah, everybody gets +1/+1, so that's pretty rough. If we draw an untapped land, I will Ruinous Path that away. I think that's definitely worth killing. So we're gonna go down to 11 here. All right, so we didn't draw the untapped land, but we can Mortuary Mire nothing back. So that's like kind of a lame thing, but I think we're gonna go for it anyway. If I attack with both, I can Swell of Growth. No, that doesn't seem very good. Yeah, what I'm gonna do here is Let's see. If I attack with both, no, I don't think I want to do that. I could just fire off 2 removal spells and hit my opponent for a bunch of damage, which I think is what I'm leaning towards. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do here. Gonna Mortuary Mire. Just gonna always yield to this. All right, so I can swing with both and fight down the 5/5 to hit my opponent for 9, putting them to 5. Seems fine. And then I'll have enough to play out this 2/2 with Ingest. All right, hit our opponent for 9, put him down to 5, and then run out the drone. And this way we can awaken Ruinous Path next turn, no matter what. But if we draw an untapped land, we can probably do all kinds of shenanigans with our Swell of Growth and like the landfall trigger here. All right, so that was pretty great. Mire's Malice has been pretty good for us thus far. I think again I'm gonna cut the Sylvan Scrying for the Voracious Null, and the Call of the Scions over the Invoker. I think like the 2/2 in this matchup is just not like our opponent wasn't that aggressive, so like our opponent wasn't aggressive at all actually, so it seems fine to do that. And like all of our 1/1s and our Bone Splinters look really sweet. So I think yeah, we're just gonna do the same board plan we had last game and just run it back. I could see us playing like the 5/5 just to block their 5/5. Like maybe it's better than like I don't know, our Channeler. Just like a 6-mana 5/5 that doesn't really do anything. We just like didn't get like the whole allies thing going, so I don't think that's where I really want to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back like this. All right. Yeah, this could be way better, but it could be worse. A play on 3 that blocks a lot of plays on 2, and then the Bone Splinters in hand seems fine. We have lands. We get to put our threat in on turn 5. So as long as our opponent doesn't have a quick start, which they didn't have last game, we should be fine. Yeah, and we hit our best 2-drop probably in this situation. So totally okay with this. And our opponent did not hit their 2, so we're pretty happy. We get to go ahead and drop this bad boy. And next turn we can swing for 3 and play our Void Attendant. Seems fine. If our opponent plays something a must answer, we could Bone Splinters, but that just seems pretty bad. Opponent's deck must have a super high curve because we haven't seen any low cost creatures or any low cost creatures at all out of their deck. So I don't know what that means for the matchup. Probably means we're going to be seeing a threat this coming turn. Yeah. 4/3 is annoying, but it's definitely not a must answer. Like we get to attack into it with our little dude here, which I think is just what we're going to be doing. And I could Bone Splinters here, but I think I'd rather just keep attacking. Okay. So I have the Grave Birthing. I definitely want to get something out of the Grave Birthing. So you know what? Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and Bone Splinter. Well, that just seems like the 4/3 isn't that threatening to us. We get to play our 4/4 next turn. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. I think probably our opponent's gonna play another threat, and I'm gonna regret not firing off the Bone Splinters. But the great thing about Bone Splinters is that you can do it just sort of on whatever turn you need it. Also, our opponent could just not play anything, which is fine by me. All right. Could just play. No, I can't do both. All right. So we're going to go ahead and smack him again for 3. If they take the trade here, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I wonder why they didn't take the trade last turn. All right, well, they've got something. They're going to put 2 +1/+1/+1, sorry, +1/+1 counters on him. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Cool. Unfortunately, Bone Splinter is obviously not a sorcery. So I think what I want to do is just to go ahead and Grave Birthing. Our opponent draws us a little bit deeper into our deck, and then we can just Bone Splinters away the token. This also opens up the Void Attendant. Ooh, that was a nice draw. All right. Taking our opponent's threat off the board, we've got a sweet removal spell, and now we can also activate the Void Attendant as we see fit. So probably like next turn we could go like drone plus like we could mire back our creature if we really wanted it. Though I don't think that's a necessity. Yeah, this guy seems good, the Menace guy. But if that's all we see out of our opponent, I feel pretty safe this next turn. All right, I'm just going to tap out for the Channeler. I'm going to make the attack, though. If my opponent wants to blow a trick here, I think we are fine getting that out of their hand. And if they don't have it, yeah, they just drop to 12. So we'll play the Channeler here, and then that opens up all kinds of stuff to us. We can like even awaken Ruinous Path if we really want it. You know, having the Baloth would be nice, but I don't think it was a necessity. All right. This guy, on the other hand, will need to bite a bullet here pretty quick. Yeah. Opponent's going to get a 1/1. And they can smack us for 2. It's pretty aggressive. I think my opponent does not want to do this. All right, land would have been better, but let's awaken Ruinous Path. Kill that guy. Animate a Swamp. And now we look to be in a pretty sweet position. I don't think there's a red spell for 1 red that's going to get our opponent out of this. Like we get to hit our opponent down to 10 this turn with the Attendant, and then we have the Dominator Drone in hand, so that's effectively we've got them at 8. So we just need to push through 8 more damage with 10 power on the field. And again, I haven't found anything back to Mortuary Mire back yet. Ooh, Omnath. Well, could really use that that Ruinous Path now. Man, Omnath. What do we do about that? Jeez. What do we do about that? Like if I swing with everything, my opponent puts Omnath in front of a 4/4, and I can push through like 6 damage maybe, or they chump. But any land that they get, like putting that 5/5 on the battlefield just makes it so difficult for us to win this game. So maybe instead what I want to be doing is like put a null, the Voracious Null, into play, and like an Eyeless Watcher. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I could do that. And then, like, try to build my Voracious Null up to being gigantic. Yeah, Omnath, man. Omnath really changes this game for us. All right. So I think what I'm going to actually do instead is just play out my 5/5 here. My 4/4, sorry. So play out my 4/4 here, and then next turn I can landfall and try to kill the Omnath. But man, if my opponent draws a land this turn, I don't know what we're supposed to do. Oh, oh no, I don't have another green source. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know what we're going to do if our opponent draws another land this following turn. We need an out to Omnath like right now. Shoot. Yeah. Opponent's got the 5/5s. Man. I really thought we had this game on lock. Yeah. We can still draw the Cutthroat and try to kill our opponent that way. But at the moment, it's like pretty difficult for us to attack. All right. Well, that was a great draw. So we're going to go ahead and play that. This gives us an attack with our 6/6 here, which our opponent can trade off like an elemental and the plant. Maybe that's not so great for us. If they trade elemental and plant and then they deal 3 damage to something, they kill like our Void Attendant. But our Void Attendant's not really doing that much. I think it's worth it just to call our opponent's field. What we don't want is for them to get like enough of these tokens that we just like lose the game on the spot. Yeah. It's fine. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make a token. Yeah, maybe actually I don't think I want to make the token. I want to leave that in case we draw the processor. So go ahead and take the damage here. And then I'm going to run out the Voracious Null and the Eyeless Watcher. And then like hopefully we can like pump the Null to be big enough to start getting in next turn. Like I can sack like the Watcher and like some number of the drones or something to start doing this. I can also just play the Mire here. Oh no, sorry. I can play the Mire next turn and buy back like the Baloth or something. Outnumber the number of creatures you control. Well, oh, I can only do this as a sorcery. Oh no! Whoops. Well, that was really stupid. I just sacked an Eldrazi Scion for no reason. Ugh, man. Forgot you could only activate that as a sorcery. I should have just I mean, I guess if I had activated it, my opponent would have just cast that in response. All right. Well, our opponent. Oh my God, they drew Evolving Wilds. Ugh. I don't think we can win. It's like kind of unfortunate when there are these like just truly unbeatable cards in the format. Like how do you win? How do you win when your opponent can make 2 5/5 tokens for free? That when they die you like lose a creature. It's just like very unreasonable card. Okay, so let's see. We want a Mortuary Mire back. I think the Null here. If we get back the Null, yeah, maybe that's not good. Maybe just the Baloth is better. Yeah, let's get back the Baloth. And just play our Dominator Drone, put our opponent to 8. Like I wanted to use this as sort of a surprise, but I think we need to go a little bit wider here. So this will put our opponent to 8, and then we can just see what we do from here. But yeah, them having all those 5/5 tokens, like I mean, if I attack with everything here, yeah, it doesn't do anything. So it's pretty unfortunate. Like our opponent really has nothing going on other than Omnath, and like Omnath is just crushing us. I guess I did blow that Ruinous Path, and like maybe blowing the no, they had like that 6/5 with the trample, so like I had to throw Bone Splinters at that. I don't really think that there was much else I could do. I'm gonna take 5 here in the hope of drawing a removal spell and just killing my opponent. All right, well they have follow up. All right. That's an interesting card. You get a 3/4 for 3. That's pretty cool. All right. We'll run out our Baloth here. All right, so this turn, starting from this turn, I will be chump blocking and like putting stuff in front, because our opponent has sort of a very quick clock on us. So if they make this attack, the one that they're making right now, I'm going to put the drone and the swamp in front. They'll probably kill the swamp, and then they're going to deal 3, but it'll be to something that doesn't matter. I mean, they could kill like the drone or whatever, but whatever. Like that card isn't going to win us the game here. Probably just deal 3 to me would be what I would do. Make any of the elementals lethal. We're definitely drawn pretty thin here at this point. Yeah. Shooting us makes a lot of sense. All right. Yeah, like none of these cards are really like that good against us. It's just the Omnath we just can't beat. Right. So, and that means I can't kill another elemental because I need to kill Omnath eventually. And if I kill another elemental, then Omnath kills us, like when it dies. So we just can't kill another elemental. So I can put like the Blister Pod in front of an elemental this turn. But like killing an elemental is no longer an option. So it makes things a little hard for us. Like we can kill it after we kill the Omnath, but the Omnath is going to put us to 2 when we kill it. So it's pretty rough here. Like I could see conceding in this spot just because it is like so difficult for us to win this game. But I do want to like genuinely see what our opponent's deck has. All right, I could attack here with the Baloth. What would happen if I did that? Like my opponent would put like all their creatures in front other than Omnath. Seems fine. Like culling my opponent's board at least like gives me time to buy into the answer or to draw into the answers that I'm looking for. Yeah, jumps are also fine. I accept that. We're gonna be doing a lot of jump blocking, so my opponent wants to do some jump blocking, that's fine. What is this? Trample, landfall. All right, that's decent. Oh, this was in the Atarka Red deck that did well at the Star City Games Open, I think. Some number of these guys. Like this with like a fetch land, you get to like swing with a 3/4 with or a 4/3 with trample. It's pretty decent. So yeah, my opponent now actually has like some pretty good attacks here. Like if they ever draw a ally, then we're pretty dead because I think these two are both allies, right? Yeah. So my opponent I think could have swung with the Omnath and been okay here. Just gonna chump again. Like I said, we can't afford to kill an elemental because the Omnath trigger will kill us. All right, that's pretty good. I think our opponent could have won this turn. All right, what do we got? Well, this doesn't do much. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and concede this one. I think like there's just like no draw that now gets us out of it. All right, so we need to keep our removal for Omnath, and because our opponent has an Omnath, I want more things that can get big. Beastmaster seems okay. Just like having a 5/5. Like I know it only triggers itself, but like having a 5/5 for 6 actually seems fine. And I think like Null looked really good. What didn't look great? Call the Scions actually didn't look great against this opponent. If we had had the cutthroat, it would have been fine, but our opponent had good enough removal to deal with the cutthroat, so I think I'm just going to try running it back like this, just a little bit more beef in the deck. But yeah, that Omnath, like, just like, how do we win against that? All right. Play, I think this is fine. It's a little sketchy. We can play the Cutthroat on 2, and we have access to Bone Splinters. We need to draw a green source for this hand to be good, but I think once we do, it's actually very good. Like, yeah, it's a risk, definitely. But we have 9 green sources in the deck, so I think it's like not an unreasonable keep. All right, and our opponent didn't have a play, so that's pretty good for us. Get our Cutthroat down. Hopefully hit a land next turn. If we hit a land next turn, then we'll be in a pretty good spot. I think like we want to hit forest as like our draws. And if we do hit those, then we'll be in pretty good shape. All right. Well, that's not the best thing to see. Land? No land. Yeah, we're just gonna pass back. Probably I should have mulligan. I don't know. Like it's so hard to mulligan those hands where you have good spells that you can you're very close to casting. You have to like think about what your probabilities are. I think like on the draw it's a definite keep because you have 3 chances to hit, whereas on the play you only have the 2, and we missed both on the play. But like losing that turn, taking that turn off, and like this next turn, if we take this turn off, it's very, very bad for us. All right, well our opponent's off to a great start. Land? No. I can blow in Splinters 1 away to try to stabilize here, but that just seems so bad. It just seems terrible. Like I don't want to do that. If we draw a forest, we can just blister pod, and then bone splinters away the blister pod. So like, and all of these plays become way better with the Cutthroat alive. So like, yeah, we're gonna be taking at least 6 here, but yeah, I mean we may just lose this one just because we just aren't drawing any lands. But I think for us to have a chance here, we really do need to draw specifically forest. All right, well, we drew swamp. Swamp is not forest. So I could like Ruinous Path this guy, and then I'm looking at taking like another 6 next turn. I could play the Null, but that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think I just fire off the Ruinous Path here, kill this, and then hope to draw a forest next turn. If we draw a forest, we're actually like in a decent spot, albeit at a very low life total. All right, well, our opponent has all their landfall triggers, so yeah, we're gonna take it here and go down to 5. And if we draw a forest, we can go Blister Pod into Bone Shredders, or sorry, Bone Splinter, or maybe like we just play the Eyeless Watcher. But like their creatures having trample is pretty rough for us. Yeah, this looks pretty bad. All right, Grave Birthing. Grave Birthing. What do you do, Grave Birthing? Not much. If I Grave Birthing, this guy doesn't have trample, right? Yeah, so he doesn't have trample. So I can Grave Birthing and attempt to hit a forest for the Blister Pod. I think that's worth it. It's like a shame to spend this card. Oh, well, we did it. All right. So we're not dead. I mean, we're probably dead, but not dead on board. Yeah. Opponent's got all their ducks in a row here. Okay, so I need to put the Blister Pod in front of one of these guys, and I need to sack. All right, well, they're just going to give that flying. So we're very dead. Yeah, so that was a shame. Like, I think we had a good hand that just didn't pan out, and maybe it was worth mulliganing on that in that situation, but I think it was like a pretty close keep. So I'll see you guys in the third round.